Hey, it's almost time for Christmas and the holidays, and in honor of that, Frank, we're going to be talking about Santa's Naughty or Nice investment guide on today's show. So a little bit of a festive episode today. We're going to sift through a sleigh full of financial products and strategies and find out which ones deserve a spot in your financial stocking this year and which ones would be the proverbial lumps of coal, Frank. So
Right. All right.
this should be fun. We'll see what makes the Naughty or Nice list coming up. Welcome to the Time Blueprint with Frank Oliver of Oliver Asset Management. Here we break down taxes, income, money, and estate planning, giving you the tools to make informed financial decisions and aim for better retirement outcomes. Your host is financial advisor Frank Oliver, the president and founder of Oliver Asset Management. He's the author of Your Time Is Now, sharing the essentials you need to know to craft a comprehensive and customized retirement plan. Dive in with us as we offer clear strategies and straightforward advice, all designed to empower you in your financial journey. Welcome to the Time Blueprint. Frank, I feel like we should have worn a Santa and an elf outfit.
I do too.
On today's
I do
show.
too.
I was going to suggest it, but since this is your show, I figured you'd be Santa.
Get some decorations in the back end. Go grab a wreath real quick.
Well, I didn't really want to be the elf if we were going to do the elf Santa.
You want to be the reindeer, don't you?
I'd rather that than the elf.
I don't want to be an elf either. If I keep eating like I am, I could be Santa next year.
There you
I'm
go.
not too
That's
far
right.
away,
We can
right?
easily accomplish that goal. I love it. Although I would be the elf, the movie Elf, right? Like I would be the Will Ferrell elf. Like that.
Will Ferrell's just awesome.
That just seems fun.
He's just funny.
He was having a good
He's a
time
good
as an
dude,
elf.
right? Yeah.
So, and if you can still land the girl like he did as an elf,
Right?
you're in pretty good
Right.
shape. So not a bad deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is going to be fun. We're going to go through this investment list and strategy list, see what's good, what's bad, what's on the naughty list, what's a lump of coal, all those kinds of parallels. Later, we're going to answer a question from David, by the way, in Fort Collins. He's got some CDs that he's wondering about. They're maturing soon, so just has some questions about that.
Not the music CDs.
Not music CDs, unfortunately. No.
Bank
That would be
CDs.
more fun to talk about, probably, but
You could put those in a stocking.
we could.
You could put CDs in a stocking.
Yes,
music
we
CDs.
can do music
right?
CDs. Those would be on the good
What do you think
list.
they'd rather have? Bank CD or music CD?
Well, if I'm not even funding the bank CD, I'll take a CD in my stocking.
Today, I think I'd have a CD.
Yeah.
3 years ago, I think I'd rather have the music CD
That's a good point.
versus the bank CD.
Yeah, you're right. Because
Right.
I would be earning a whole lot a few years ago. Well, let's just dive in and get
do it.
started there. So you already teased us with the CD example. That was a
Right.
perfect icebreaker to get us going. So you'd put that in your stocking. What else? Just take us through. You do get to be Santa today, despite no red suit.
All right. Well, I do have sugar skulls on the inside.
Sugar
right.
skulls,
That.
okay,
Yeah.
very
Is this
nice.
festive at all? A little bit.
Maybe there's some color in there. Sure.
Right.
We'll take
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah. There's a little red and green going on in my jacket.
That's right.
So naughty naughty CDs or nice CDs, naughty investments or nice investments. Is that that's a tough one, Walter, to be quite honest, because I don't know if there's any on here that I would consider putting in somebody's stocking if they were naughty, except for possibly crypto.
Okay.
Right? That may be one that I would put in somebody's stocking if they were naughty. But crypto's had some good runs as well. So I guess it just depends on the timing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that should be our disclaimer at the beginning of this conversation is there's an element of it depends to all of these.
Absolutely,
right?
on all of these. Yeah.
So there could be a lot of you out there for whom one of these things does make sense. And then there could be somebody that it doesn't make sense for that has just a different situation than you.
Right.
So we'll take that into account with a grain of salt here. But maybe just in broad general terms, what would make it into someone's stocking and what would maybe be a bad thing to find in there.
We do have the Wolf of Wall Street investment on here.
Okay.
Did you ever see the Wolf of
I
Wall Street?
did, yes.
Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep.
The penny stocks.
The penny stocks.
The penny
That's
stocks,
right.
yep. That's
right.
what he started selling. Yeah, exactly. So I guess, maybe the Wolf of Wall Street's penny stocks could be the naughty person's gift in the stocking.
So that would be a lump of coal. Now,
That
why
would be
would
a lump
that
of
be?
coal.
If our audience is someone who is approaching retirement or concerned about retirement and planning for it, why would a penny stock be equivalent to a lump of coal for them?
They're very, 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 very high risk for one, and two, just the quality is not there. It's just not a quality investment. If somebody wants to dabble in penny stocks, I think that would be like putting a lump of coal in your stocking. To be quite honest, it's definitely not something that we're going to put in the nice person's stocking.
Yeah.
When we're trying to build a retirement portfolio that's got some discipline to it. So
Yeah.
and again, full transparency on the crypto, it's had some really good runs, but That's not something that I would put in a nice person's stocking either.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think the discipline is there, with that asset class just yet.
We're talking about people's life savings, right? We're not talking about fun money on the side. Hey, I have $10K that I just want to have fun with, and if I lose it tomorrow, no big deal.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Crypto and penny stocks for the purposes of this conversation, those are lumps of
That's
coal.
a lump of coal right there for sure.
What else you got in the stocking?
I don't know. Do we want to go naughty again, or do we want to go nice? Maybe we should mix it up.
Yeah, let's mix it up. Go with a nice one. Right? Sure.
Well, I mean, it's tough to go wrong with the S&P 500 index in the ETF for sure. Okay. Good low cost
so explain
ETF
what
there.
That would be for people who may not know.
That brings up a good point. So the S&P 500 index ETF is basically the S&P 500 in an exchange traded fund. So most people don't realize this, but currently the S&P 500 actually has, I believe, 505 different companies in it. They should call it the S&P 505, right?
It's like it's like all the football conferences, right? The Big 10's no longer 10 and the Big 12 isn't anymore.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's almost like an IRS state, 59.5, 64.5 for Medicare, right? So the S&P 500 is the gold standard in indexes. Warren Buffett would agree that it's a gold standard. And he's actually got a bet with several different money managers out there that they can't consistently outperform the S&P 500. And he's thrown down $1 million bet. I don't think anybody's taken him up on it yet.
How about that? That's
it's
cool.
a tough one to beat. It's a little risky, so it could have a little coal influence. There from time to time.
If somebody's stocking is their financial plan, how would you use a product like that as part of a plan? Just as maybe an example.
It would be a blend. It would be a blend. Yeah, I think you definitely need a component of that nice stocking in there as well. But if somebody's retiring in 5 years or less, especially 12 months or less, you do not want too much weight in the S&P 500. It's too risky. So it's an element of coal and an element of nice in that one as well. So
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. And you got another nice one or a naughty one for us?
We'll go with another nice one.
Okay.
Can we be nice today?
We can. We can do all nice if you want to. You're Santa. You get to choose.
I can do whatever I want, right? We were talking about rental properties earlier, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
All fair. We were doing.
I think rental properties
bit.
could be either one. For me, rental properties would be if somebody's going to give me a rental property, that would be a lump of coal.
Okay.
Yeah.
The burden of it would.
I think I've had rental properties in the past, and I don't the tenants. I don't play well with tenants. I don't think. Yeah, some people are very good at handling tenants. I'm not.
Yeah. What did you find hard about it? Out of curiosity.
Oh, I just think they take advantage of you a little bit. I don't think they care. My problem here's my problem. Our last rental house was my personal residence, and we bought another house.
Okay.
And so we rented out my personal residence. Now, your personal residence that you've lived at for 15 years, you got married there.
You still had a little personal attachment.
Yeah. And so when you went over there and the trees were dying and the grass was dying and, there were holes in the walls, it was a little bit of a turnoff. And this was a pretty good family at one point, I thought. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with rental property. I mean, I feel like my wife and I are really good. I'll pick on myself here. Like my wife and I are pretty good folks, and we like to really make sure that we're taking care. The times that we've rented, we've tried to take really good care of the properties. But we had aging dogs at our last rental property, and that happens. That was an issue when we then moved out. The carpets were destroyed.
Right.
Like it is what it is.
Exactly.
And that's even someone trying to treat your house nice.
Right. So it happens.
Yeah.
Some people are just better at that than I am.
So if it's a skill that someone has, maybe they've done rental properties before and they've done it successfully. Is there any problem for that still being kind of a part of their stocking?
No, I think there's a lot of good with rental properties as well. I think it does go in the nice stocking. Rental properties are a fantastic investment. If you can handle the tenants and you find some really quality tenants, rental properties are fine.
But if someone like me who's never been a landlord came to you at retirement and said, "Hey, as part of my retirement strategy, I was thinking of doing some Airbnbs and some short-term rental properties."
Well, the Airbnb is a little bit different, strategy today. So you got the Airbnbs and you got the Verbos, right?
Okay.
And I mean, they lease it for you, they collect for you, they take their cut out of it and send you a check.
Yeah.
If the tenant damages your property on these short-term rentals, they're actually kicked out of Airbnb and Vrbo, and they can never rent from those companies again. Yeah, so that holds them accountable and keeps them, a little bit more down the straight and narrow. I think the nice thing about a rental property is that somebody else is buying your investment. Okay. That's probably the strongest part about rental properties. Sure. If you're going to go buy a $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 rental house, hear the term $500,000 rental house?
No,
I
that's
know,
true.
right? I know.
I've looked at rental property in Estes Park just for fun,
Sure.
and it's a lot for a studio
Yeah.
or a one-bedroom
Yeah,
place.
I know.
It drives the mind a little wild these days to think
That's
about that.
exactly right. But you get the income coming off of the the cash flow coming off the rental if you purchase the place correctly, and then the rent buys your investment, so you get capital appreciation on the rental home, and somebody else is paying for it.
Okay.
So there's a lot of good perks.
Yeah.
Yep.
But for most people, it'd be like putting a lump of coal in. It's got to be the right person for it to be really a benefit.
We have hundreds and hundreds of clients, and I've just seen this more than not, that when folks get into their 60s, 70s, that rental or that real estate investments that they've had, or empire or whatever it is. I got clients that got, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 properties. They all get to a certain point of their retirement where it's exhausting.
They're ready to liquidate it.
They're ready to liquidate it. The problem with liquidating rental properties is you have to pay capital gains tax on that appreciation.
Especially these days, how much appreciation people have probably had in those homes.
In Colorado, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. I mean, my first house was $86,500. I could drive you there right now, right here in Longmont. That house today is a $500,000 house. Guarantee it.
Insane, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And the problem with selling a rental property and recognizing those capital gains is that what if you don't need the full $500,000 or whatever the property's worth?
Right.
You can't sell the bathroom. You can't sell the closet. Honey, let's go take a vacation. We only need $20,000. Why don't we just shave off the closet? You can't do that. Right? So you have to pay capital gains tax on the entire property, even if you only need $20,000.
They should start assembling houses like that, though, right? Like little compartments that then when you just, we don't need that bedroom anymore, you could just get rid of it.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. So you do get caught up in that. Yeah. Is that like the 3D construction?
I think so.
Just maybe unzip part of your house or
unzip
whatever.
It and send it out. Yeah, exactly. Maybe on Mars, that's how they'll build houses or something like that.
Yeah. There's good and bad. So,
good breakdown, I think, on rental properties.
Yep,
That's helpful.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. What else you got, Santa?
Let me see here. Roth IRAs would be the good part in the stocking. So
I'll take
Roth IRAs all day long. Tax-free growth, tax-free income, tax-free wealth transfer. No government control over those funds after the 5-year window has been satisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually something Santa, or you could actually gift someone a Roth IRA, right?
Absolutely.
Like a grandkid or a kid or something like that.
You're not gifting them taxes.
You could literally do that.
Absolutely.
So
You gift an IRA, you're gifting money, but you're also gifting taxes.
Right.
So you've gifted not only your heirs, but you've also gifted the IRS when you gift an IRA, because IRS is going to recognize some taxes off of that, right?
Yeah.
But not in a Roth. So Roth is top of the list.
Okay.
Fill the stocking with Roth.
We like that idea.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Anything else going in this stocking?
You know what? We got credit card on the list. What do you think of that one?
All right. If you put a credit card in my stocking, are you paying the bill for it, or will I get the bill?
Well, that
for
would be
it?
the gift, right? If I gave you a credit card and you had to pay the bill, I would be bad Santa.
That's a bad Santa.
I would be bad Santa, right? I'm going to be good Santa. So I don't know. Maybe a credit card would be a nice gift, right?
There you go. Yeah. I think some people would certainly take that.
I would take it. Yeah.
I would say if you are paying the bill, credit card debt.
Good Santa.
Is a bad thing, right?
Credit card debt is a terrible thing.
Yeah. If you have credit card debt, you have a lump of coal in your stocking right now.
If you have credit card debt, you definitely have a lump of coal in your stocking, especially with interest rates on the rise right now. So pay off that high interest debt. Get rid of that coal quick.
Very good.
Yep.
All right. Any other items that we either want to put in the stocking or keep out of the stocking?
I think everybody should have an HSA in their stocking.
Okay, tell us about that.
Huge. So an HSA is the strongest tax tool, in my opinion, that the IRS has ever created for you, right?
Okay, that's a pretty bold. I mean, that's you just say that very calmly, but that sounds like a very big
it's
statement.
huge, and people don't recognize this. They don't realize this. So on an HSA account, you get a tax deduction when you contribute to the account, correct?
Right.
Now, in addition to that, it's going to grow tax-free, and you can use it down the road for qualified medical expenses and pull money out of that account tax-free. What other account do you get free tax benefits on?
So that's even better than a Roth in some ways.
So a Roth, you get tax-free growth and tax-free income, but you don't get a tax deduction when you put money into the Roth. 401k IRA, you get a tax deduction when you put it in, and it grows tax deferred, But tax deferred is not tax free. That means you pay tax when you take it out. So you're always losing one or two of those tax benefits, where the HSA has all three tax benefits: tax deduction, and then tax-free growth, and tax-free when you pull it out for qualified medical expenses. And they've recently just changed that rule where you can actually, at a certain age, turn that HSA into an IRA as well. You still pay taxes, but you avoid penalties on it. One big thing with an HSA that a lot of people do not take advantage of is they don't invest it and they don't let it grow.
Okay. So they just treat it more like cash.
Right. Right. That's exactly right. And so you're only taxed on what? Growth, right? We were just talking about the sale of a rental property, right? Your only reason you're paying capital gains tax is because it grew. The government wants some tax revenue off of that growth, right?
Right.
So if your HSA doesn't grow because it stays in cash,
then what's the point?
You're getting a tax deduction as your benefit, but there's no tax-free growth.
Right.
Right? It's just like putting money into the account and taking it back out. You're not getting that tax benefit. Plus, a lot of folks will use them, in their earlier years, in their younger years, such as yourself.
Yeah.
And they need a pair of glasses. They'll put money in the HSA. Next week, they go down, they get themselves some Ray-Bans, right? Check it out of their HSA account. It's almost like free money, right?
Yeah.
It's like they're not spending their own money. Pull it right back out and buy those Ray-Bans, right? Well, you could probably buy the Ray-Bans yourself. When are you going to need healthcare money? Are you going to need it in your 40s, in your 50s, or are you going to need it when you're in your 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
turn that HSA.
Let it build, let it grow over time, and then use it for those medical benefits down the line when you've had all that growth happen.
Yeah. And it's going to compound and grow just like anything else, right? So, you contribute you contribute a little over $7,000 a year now for a married couple.
This is not something that you lose at the end of the year.
No.
You're keeping this for
that's right.
for a long period of time.
That's exactly right.
So that'd be a lot different than like an FSA, right? Where a little bit different how that operates.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to go all the way down that line today.
If you don't use this, you don't lose it. It'll always be there for you.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Well, thank you, Santa. Good list.
Thank you, Elf.
I think we covered a good amount.
Yeah,
That's enough to put in
absolutely.
your stocking. We don't want to get greedy and just totally fill them up.
They'll be knocking on my door for credit cards.
That's right. That's right. No, you're paying for your own credit cards.
Great.
Thanks for walking us through that and
Sure.
just a little bit of fun on today's show. So if you need help determining what's a nice item, what's a naughty item that might be in your portfolio, a lot of people are surprised to see what's in their portfolio. Is it really working for you? Is it something you should get rid of? Get out of that stocking, so to speak. You need to go through an analysis of your situation and see what your goals are and figure all that out. You can do that with Frank and the team by going through the time blueprint planning process. You can actually schedule a free strategy session right now from your smartphone or computer. You can go to oliverassetmanagement.com and find time that works for you and go ahead and sign up for that. Or you can call 720-897-TIME, and all that contact info is in the description of today's show. So check that out for sure. All right, Frank, time to get to know you a little bit better.
All right, buddy.
Let's do it. All right, Frank, my question for you on this week's show, if you could have any exotic animal as a pet, which would it be?
That's a good question.
And exotic can be a very loose.
Yeah.
Whatever's just not a dog or a cat, pretty much.
So, the actor Clint Eastwood, right?
Yes, of course. Sure.
You ever seen the movie Any Which Way But Loose?
No.
Any Which Way But Loose.
No,
You've never seen that movie?
I've never seen that movie.
Am I dating myself?
Should I add that to my list?
You got to write that down, Walter.
Any Which Way But Loose.
Any Which Way But Loose. It's pretty much what put Clint Eastwood in Hollywood. That's what made him who he is today, right? I shouldn't say that, but it was his start of fame.
A good one.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood in Any Which Way But Loose had a monkey.
A monkey.
It was his best friend. Yeah. Took that monkey everywhere, cruised it down the street, went on walks with it.
It does seem pretty cool.
It was a monkey.
Like a monkey hanging out with you.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
I'd like to have a monkey.
Like just picture we're doing the show right now and there's just like a monkey kind of doing this
hanging out,
thing,
chilling with us, right?
Yeah.
Now you remember a few years ago that lady got attacked by her pet monkey, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's actually, I have a story about a monkey for you and about an attack.
Okay.
My mom was bitten by a monkey growing up.
No way.
Mm-hmm. In New Jersey, her neighbor had a monkey. They lived on like a farm in New Jersey, which a lot of people think New Jersey wouldn't have farms, but they lived in a big horse farm area. Yeah. Anyway, neighbor had a monkey, and it bit my mom one day.
Ow.
Yeah, and that she still has the scar, believe it or not, all these years later.
Really? That was a mad monkey.
It ended up turning into this big thing. This monkey actually ended up getting shot because it was, the way the story goes, is it was making an aggressive beeline toward an infant in a stroller.
Really?
And the husband of this couple who had the infant felt threatened by the monkey and shot it and killed it. It ended up going to court. My mom ended up having to testify about the monkey previously having bitten her. That established like a pattern of this monkey's aggressive behavior. So yeah, like
that's a mad monkey.
It's
That's
a
an
thing.
angry monkey right there.
It's an angry monkey. Yeah.
Do not want to put that in the stocking.
No, that's right. Keep that out of your stocking.
Mad monkey in the stocking, right?
That might give somebody a heart attack, right? Monkey comes out. So.
They seem so cute, though.
They do. They do.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like us.
A nice monkey.
Right.
It's not a mad monkey. That's what we want.
Right.
So, there you go. I think a monkey would be pretty cool. I would go for that.
Cool, yeah.
I think a
nice
penguin
monkey.
would be pretty awesome to have. I mean, they're just kind of cute.
Yeah.
And they're just funny to look at, and they seem relatively low maintenance. Just
I agree.
Throw them a piece of fish every once in a while, and they'll be happy.
Sushi. Not my sushi, though.
That's right. That's right.
I really want a donkey.
A donkey.
It's not really an exotic animal.
Okay. Well, you've got the land for it.
We do got the land.
Okay.
We got some friends that have some
Would
donkeys.
you do something with the donkey?
Just kind of hang out with it.
Just to hang out?
Yeah.
Just to have an
chill
animal?
out with the donkey. Yeah. Maybe walking up and down the road.
Is it like a little lower maintenance than a horse?
They're just so friendly.
Okay.
Have you ever hung around a donkey? You should.
I guess not a lot. No.
No, I haven't either until just recently.
Have you ever hung around a donkey? Let me think.
You're in Colorado now, Walter. Right? Everybody's got donkeys that live on a mountain, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So I got a friend that lives out in the country, and they have recently just started a donkey farm.
Okay.
And so we thought we'd go by and check out their donkeys.
Wow.
Really just wanted to see my buddy, but I thought the donkey thing was kind of interesting, and I
let
just
me
wanted
check
to
this
hang out
out.
with the donkeys a little bit. We go in there. The donkeys are the friendliest animal I've ever met in my
How
life.
about that? That's
Come
cool.
right up to you, put their head on your shoulder. Just,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
It's
neat.
a lovely creature.
We have
Never would have imagined.
We have some friends who used to own a whole bunch of alpacas and llamas. So they had like an alpaca llama farm for a little while. So, but those can spit. They
I was
spit at
just
you.
going to say that, but I didn't know if that was proper on the podcast.
Yeah, I think we can get
I've
away
got
with that.
spit on by a llama.
Have
once.
you? Okay.
Yeah. Oof.
Not fun?
I'm not a big fan of the llamas. No.
Yeah. It seems like alpacas are more like the donkeys.
I
a
think
little more
so.
chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I think the donkey would get along really good with our horses.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Can't convince my wife.
tune back in next year. Maybe we'll go out to the farm and do
Right?
a live
Yeah, a
show
little
and see
pod-
how many
little-
animals Frank has accumulated at this
Donkey
point.
cast, yeah.
We might be getting into this like hidden desire.
Right.
If flying doesn't work out for you, maybe
Right,
raising
right.
Can we throw
Raising
some goat-
donkeys.
Can we throw some goats out there? and
Absolutely.
other things?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good. Love it. We've got an exotic animal farm coming to
There we go.
Longmont.
You're gonna love it.
Frank's going to run it. All right, let's get to know one of our listeners a little bit better. We are going to open up the mailbag for a question from David coming up next. All right, so David is in Fort Collins and says, I have a few CDs that will be maturing in the next year. Not music CDs, but financial CDs.
No Led Zeppelin.
No Led Zeppelin. He's not maturing with Led Zeppelin. I'm worried about what the market will do, so should I just reinvest in more CDs once they mature?
David, great question. Hope Fort Collins is treating you good. One of my favorite cities. I think it depends on what your other investments are, where your assets are held. If all you have is CDs, I think it's probably fine to take on some market risk. CDs right now are earning more than we've, seen a CD earn in 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
So I think it's a better alternative than we've seen in the past. But I don't think you should be so fearful of the market that you have 100% of your assets in CDs.
Or similar products like a CD?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you got to look at it at a bucket list. What do I need in cash in 6 to 12 months?
Mm-hmm.
What do I need income for 3 to 5 years if I'm retired? And how much do I want in a growth position? And honestly, with the higher interest rates, it's created some pretty good opportunities in the market where there are market-based products that will give you market-based returns when this market turns. And it will turn again, right? It'll turn for the positive again. But it still gives you principal protection. So you may not get the guaranteed rates of the CD at 5.5%, or whatever they're performing at currently, which is right around that range. But they do give you the opportunity to earn double-digit returns when that market recovers. So I think a blend. I don't think that we should be too fearful of the markets because over the long term, the markets do good. But money that you need, safe, that's, to add some balance to your portfolio that you may need access to in 6 to 12 months, the CD would be fine for that.
Very good. Great question, David. Thanks for saying that one in. It does sound like one of those ones where you really just need to come in and have a broader conversation. A lot of these that are, if your sentence is one question, or if your question is one sentence or two sentences, there's probably going to just need to be some more information about what's the rest of your financial situation look like to answer these things with full intelligence. So good news, David, is it's very easy to come in and have that conversation. You can go through the Time Blueprint planning process. All you have to do to schedule that time to visit, it's a free strategy session with Frank and the team at Oliver Asset Management. The website is oliverassetmanagement.com, or you can call 720-897-TIME. That's 720-897-TIME. When you come in, you'll also get to pick up a copy of Frank's book, Your Time Is Now. It'll walk you through navigating taxes, income, money, and estate planning. For those of you on YouTube, there's the book right there. You can see it. Very easy to get a copy of that book when you come in as well. So get the free book, free strategy session. Just book that time with Frank and the team. Frank, that'll do it for today's podcast. Thanks for joining
Walter.
us.
You bet, buddy.
See you next time.
Take care.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see everybody next time right back here on the Time Blueprint.
Thank you.
Advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Creative One Wealth, LLC, and Oliver Asset Management are unaffiliated entities. Licensed insurance professional. Respond and learn how financial products, including life insurance and annuities, can be used in various planning strategies for retirement. The information contained herein is based on our understanding of current tax law. The tax and legislative information may be subject to change and different interpretations. We recommend that you seek professional tax advice for applicability to your personal situation.